This is Hugh Hood, who's going to be talking to you about what he feels the world should know about war in his experience.
Basically, that war should be the very last alternative that's employed by any country or any nation, because the consequences of it extend far beyond just that one soldier. It destroys families, destroys countries, destroys futures. I'm not saying that it's not necessary, but that it should be the very last resort. Being a casualty assistance officer, I don't just see the loss of that soldier's life. I also see the loss of his family. A lot of times it turns family members against each other. It causes parents to blame themselves for things that wasn't really within their control. And like I said, it should be the very last resort.
Tell us a little bit about your experience with the families and the individuals who commit suicide in this war.
Well, the really hard thing about it is that a family can live with the fact that they've lost a son or a daughter who was volunteering to defend their country. But when they lose a son or a daughter to suicide, a lot of times they live with a lot of guilt that they should have talked them out of it, that the reason that that happened had a lot to do with them. A lot of times a wife or a husband will believe that it had a lot to do with them. And it's hard for a kid to go to school and tell his classmates that his father took his own life. So it doesn't just affect that soldier. I never really realized just how much it affects the lives of the people who love that person.
Why do you think that in this war there is such an increase in suicide?
You know, it's really hard for me to put my hands on it. With a husband or a wife back home, sons and daughters, things that happens to sons and daughters. Great deal of the time, I believe it's that a lot of these young men and women never in their lives had to deal with the fact that they would have to take the life of another human being. And a lot of times they find it hard to, justify it. And another thing is that when we were in World War II, for example, World War I, World War II, Vietnam War somewhat, it was a lot clearer why they were fighting. A lot of times there was no doubt that they were defending their country. And this was all about defense of our country and our way of life. With these two wars, Afghanistan and Iraq, there's a lot of gray area, a lot of political gray area. So basically a lot of these soldiers, when they're involved in the war, it's really all about making sure that their buddies come home alive. That's really what it's about for them.